Hello everybody, welcome to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH, and this is Discussion 5, Inventories Part 2, Inventory Cost Flow Techniques. At the end of the video, you should be able to compute for the amount of ending inventory, cost of goods sold, and gross profit under specific identification method, first in, first out method, weighted average method, and moving average method. Before anything else, please like, share, and subscribe to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH and hit the notification bell button to alert you of the latest video lessons. For all of your questions, comments, and suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And for webinar and speakership invites, please send me a message at kevintroy.chua1994@gmail.com. Thank you for your utmost support to Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH, and may these videos continue to help students in their online learning and academic development, and may these videos continue to help teachers in enhancing their lesson plans and teaching methodologies. Okay, let's start. So in the last lesson, we discussed the general concepts of inventories, what should be included, what should be excluded, and then I've also introduced you to some terminologies that we need to understand in inventories. Ngayon naman po, what we will be discussing yung ating pong inventory cost flow. So, lahat po nung apat na yun, i-discuss natin in this video. Okay, so we have inventory cost flow techniques. Again, the specific identification method mentioned under paragraph 23 of IAS 2. First in, first out method mentioned under paragraph 25, also together with weighted average method, and then in paragraph 27 naman po is the moving average method. And I have mentioned din po sa inyo in the previous video na hindi na po permitted under IAS 2 ang paggamit po natin ng last in, first out costing technique. And in any case po na baka nagbabasa po kasi kayo ng pang US na textbook, baka may makita po kasi kayong LIFO method doon. But as far as IAS is concerned, hindi na po permitted ang paggamit ng LIFO cost method. Okay? Sige po, let's start with specific identification method. According to IAS 2, paragraph 23, the cost of inventories of items that are not ordinarily interchangeable. Ibig sabihin po, hindi pare-pareho yung products mo, so hindi pwede talagang i-apply yung mga first in, first out, yung mga ganon. Okay? So, if your goods are not ordinarily interchangeable, and goods or services produced and segregated for specific projects shall be assigned using the specific identification of their individual cost. And usually po kasi ang specific identification, yung mga high value inventories din po yan. Like for example, ang kotse po ay hindi ka naman pwede mag first in, first out dyan. First in, first out, kung pare-pareho, paano kung hindi, diba? Titingin kayo sa showroom ng kotse, iba-ibang kotse doon. So talagang specific identification po yung gagamitin nyo sa kotse, 'di ba? Also, hindi si Parkman yung, pero yung jewelry, okay? Jewelries din po, ayan, hindi naman pwedeng kung bracelet ang binili, ang ibibigay nyo ay necklace, 'di ba? So, talagang it's really specific identification. Pwede nyo i-apply yung mga FIFO kung depende, parang pare-pareho yung produkto sana. But still, kasi kahit ang jewelry, kahit sabihin mong pare-pareho siyang necklace or pare-pareho siyang bracelet, may mga pagkakaiba pa rin yan. So, usually po talaga, pag high value yung items, you really use the specific identification method for that. Okay? So, to discuss, let's have problem number 1. Problem agad, di ba? Okay, so Charleston Company provided you the following information. Ang selling price daw po ng kada merchandise is 75. So, yung problem pong ito is, kunyari po, iba-ibang batches naman yung kinukuhanan natin through specific identification. But just to simplify, kunyari pare-pareho po sila ng selling price na 75 pesos. Meron po tayong beginning inventory, labeled batch A na 2,000 units, cost ng isa is 50. And then ang purchases po natin is batch B, 5,000 units at 45, batch C, 6,000 units at 55, and then batch D, 2,000 units at 40. Now, binigyan po kayo ng iba-ibang information on sales on October 6, 9, 16, 17, 27, and 31. we are required to compute for the amount of cost of goods sold, gross profit, and ending inventory. Dahil po specific identification kung saan kinuhang batch, dun mo i-relate yung cost. Ganun lang po kasimple. Okay? So let's start solving this problem. The first thing you need to do is to do this table para po sa ating cost of goods sold. So ilagay mo lahat ng batches. Okay? And the cost on those related batches. Okay, so no October 6, 1,000 units from batch B. So lalagay mo siya sa batch B, dun siya related dun siya kukunin, 'di ba? On October 9, 500 units from batch A. On October 16, 4,000 units from batch C. And then October 17, 500 units sa batch B. October 27, 500 units sa batch D, and then 1,000 units from batch C sa October 31. As you can see, nire-relate natin kung saang batch kinuha kasi nga po, specific identification. We specifically identify kung saan po natin kukunin. So, you get the total number of units na kinuha sa warehouse per batch na specifically identified, then you multiply it po sa cost kada batch. And that is the total cost of goods sold per kinuha mong warehouse A or batch A, B, C, or D. Then get the total cost ng lahat ng products na inalis natin sa warehouse kasi nga nabenta na natin. That is your cost of goods sold, 387,500. Step 2 is the computation of your gross profit. So, 7,500 units po lahat ng nabenta natin. Then, you multiply it by the selling price of 75 pesos. That's 562,500. Minus po natin sa cost of goods sold na na-compute natin kanina, which is 387,500. Your tubo or your gross profit is 175,000. For your ending inventory, ganito rin po yung table, batch A, B, C, or D. Then remember, meron po tayong beginning balance na 2,000 galing sa batch A. And then yung purchases po natin na 5,000 units for batch B, 6,000 units for batch C, and 2,000 units from batch D. I-deduct po natin lahat ng nabenta natin galing from these batches. That is your ending inventory or total remaining units. So, that is your ending inventory in units. Multiply din po natin sa cost associated with those batches. That is your total cost of ending inventory per batch. Add po natin lahat ng batches. Your total amount of ending inventory is 347,500. Paano nyo po ma-check kung tama yung pinaggagawa nyo, okay? To check, the total combined ending inventory and cost of goods sold should equal cost of goods available for sale. We started the period with a beginning inventory of 2,000 times 50 na 100,000. Then lahat po ng purchases natin, i-multiply natin, which will give you total purchases during the period of 635,000. That is your cost of goods available for sale. Ngayon, check naman po natin yung cost of goods sold na na-compute natin kanina. Pag inad natin sa ending inventory, dapat yun din po yung lalabas. Cost of goods available for sale. That is a confirmation that your calculations are correct. At ganyan po mag-compute under specific identification method. For problems 2, 3, and 4, we will be using the same problem para makita nyo po yung differences ng FIFO, weighted average, and moving average. Let's proceed with first in, first out method. According to IAS 2 paragraph 25, the cost of inventories other than those po na ang ginamit natin ay yung sinabi sa paragraph 23 na specific identification method. It's either the entity has a choice on the use of either first in, first out, or weighted average. Okay? An entity shall use the same cost formula for all inventories having similar nature. So, pwede po natin gamitin ng FIFO or weighted average kung pare-pareho lang naman tayo ng produkto. Similar nature. Okay? So, yon. Okay? For inventories with a different nature or use, different cost formulas may be justified. Ngayon, talking about FIFO, the FIFO formula assumes that the items of inventory that were purchased or produced first are sold first. Produce or binili, yun ang unang binili, yun ang unang pinroduce in the case of manufacturing, yun ang unang mo ibenta. And consequently, the items remaining in inventory, yung natitira natin sa stockroom or sa warehouse, yun yung mga recently purchased. So parang ang dating natin sa FIFO, since yung una nating nabili or na-produce, yun yung una nating binibenta, yung natitira sa stockroom, yung mga recently produced or recently purchased items. Okay? Ang FIFO rin po ay applicable either sa perpetual o sa periodic. Pakita ko po muna sa inyo yung perpetual FIFO. Let's have problem 2. Chimson Company provided you the following information. Kada isang unit daw po pinibenta ng 80 pesos. October 1, beginning inventory po natin is 2,000 times 50. Tapos nag-purchase po ng 3,000 at 55, nagbenta ng 1,500, bumili uli, nagbenta uli, bumili uli, nagbenta uli. Ang tanong, saan mo kukunin yung proper cost of goods sold kada binebenta natin nung October 9, 23, tsaka 30. Now, look at the statement below. Ang sabi, assume that the company sells only one kind of product, making it possible to use the FIFO method. Okay? So, same requirement. What is the cost of goods sold, gross profit, and ending inventory? Okay? Let's start. So, gagawa po tayo ng stock card. Okay, yan po yung tinatawag nating inventory stock card. Ano po yung receipt column? Yung receipt column, ibig sabihin, na-receive sa loob ng warehouse, pinasok sa loob ng stock room, na-receive ng company kasi binili, pinasok sa warehouse, pinasok sa storage. Okay? Pagka naman po issuance, nilabas natin sa storage kasi binenta natin. Okay? Then, syempre, balance, yung balanse after receipt or issuance. Okay? Ganito po. October 1, beginning balance po natin is 2,000 times 50, 100,000. Pagdating ng October 3, nag-purchase daw po tayo ng 3,000 units at 55 kada isa. The total cost is 165,000. So, meron na tayong dalawang inventory na available. Isang 2,000 na 50 pesos isa at yung 3,000 na 55 pesos isa. Ang tanong, 2,000 tong isa, 3,000 tong isa. Saan mo kukunin ngayon yung binenta mong 1,500 units? Ganito po ang sistema. Ang sabi natin sa first in, first out, unang nasa stock room, unang nasa warehouse, yun din ang unang lalabas. So, kung 1,500, saan mo kukunin? Sa 2,000, sa 3,000? Siyempre, dun sa 2,000. Unahin mong ubusin yung 2,000. Okay? So, 1,500, anong gagamitin mong cost? Yung cost ng 2,000 na 50. Okay? So, anong balanse ngayon? 2,000 minus 1,500 units, 500 units. Yung 3,000 units mo at 55, hindi pa yun nagagalaw. So, this is your new balance. Okay? Then, same procedure lang po tayo pagdating ng October 13. No, October 13, bumili uli ng 2,000 units, 60 pesos isa. Okay? So, tatlo na yung uri mo ng inventory. Meron kang 50, 55, tsaka 60. Nung bumili ng 3,600 units, paano mo ngayon uubusin yung 3,600 units? Galing dun sa mga balanse na meron tayo. So, ang gagawin natin, 500, ubusin mo, 500. So, 50 yung gagamitin mo doon. Tapos, ilan pa kulang kung 500 na? 3,100 pa, di ba? Yung 3,000, kunin mo na lahat. Ubusin mo rin. Tapos, kulang ka pa ng 100. Saan mo kukunin yung 100? Dito sa 2,060. Okay? You multiply, ito po yung cost of goods sold mo on that specific sales transaction. Okay? Ngayon, kung yung 500 ay naubos na at yung 3,000 naubos na din, 2,000 minus 100, ang balanse mo ngayon 1,900. Magkano isa nung 1,900? Since naubos na yung inventory na 50 tsaka 55, yun po yung 60. Okay? Then, same drill. O, di nag-purchase uli ng 1,000 units nung October 29. Dalawa na yung uri ng inventory mo ngayon. Isang 1,900 at 60 pesos at saka yung recently purchase mo na 1,000 at 65. Tapos nagbenta ka ngayon ng 1,500 units. Since sufficient po yung 1,900 para makover yung 1,500, dun mo siya kukunin, yung 60. Okay? So, 1,900 minus 1,500, 400. Yung 1,000 na binili mo noong October 29, hindi pa po nagagalaw. Yun po yung 1,000 times 65. Okay? Ngayon, paano natin kukunin yung cost of goods sold? Ang cost of goods sold po natin ay kung ano yung nasa issuance column. Bakit? Anong sabi ko kanina? Ang nasa issuance column ay lahat ng nilabas natin sa warehouse para ibenta. So you just get the total of 75,000, then this one, this one, this one, and this one. That is your cost of goods sold. 361,000. How about your ending inventory? Ito po yung balanse ng inventory natin at the end of the period. Pag-add nyo lang po. 24,000 plus 65,000. Yan po yung natira. That is your ending inventory, 89,000. How to compute for your gross profit? The gross profit is you multiply the amount of sales, which is ilan yung units na nabenta natin. 6,600. 1,500 plus 3,600 plus another 1,500. Multiply nyo po sa selling price na 80 pesos, the sales is 528,000. Less cost of goods sold na 361,000, ang atin pong gross profit, 167,000. Okay? Paano naman po ang FIFO kapag ka po periodic? Kasi perpetual po yan eh. Pag periodic, nakabase tayo sa physical count, di ba? So, ito pa pala. Okay. So, to check, balik muna tayo dito sa perpetual. So, to check po yung technique natin kanina, dapat po mag-i-equal si cost of goods available for sale dun sa total ni cost of goods sold tsaka ni ending inventory. So, ganun din po. Beginning inventory natin is 100,000. Then, lahat ng purchases po natin, goods available for sale for 50,000. Pero yung nabenta po natin goods is 361,000 at yung naiwan natin is 89,000. Pag pinag-add po natin yung dalawa, dapat ang lalabas din po yung cost of goods available for sale. Now, paano naman po kapag po periodic, no? Again, pag periodic, nakaasa po tayo sa physical count at the end of the period. So, kung ang ending inventory po natin is 1,400 units, your first step is to get the most recent cost. And what is the most recent cost? Yung 65. Ngayon, kung meron pa akong 1,400 units at 1,000 units yung 65, so yung 65 doon, 1,000 units yon. Okay? So, 65 times 1,000 units, 65,000. Tapos, kunin ko ngayon, kulang pa ako ng 400 units eh. Doon ako sa next most recent cost na 60 pesos. Okay? Yun naman yung natitira kong 400 units, 24,000. You will get the same amount of ending inventory, 89,000. Ngayon po, whether periodic system or perpetual system ang first in, first out, dapat po pareho lang siya ng results. Okay, I hope you understand our first in, first out method. Let's proceed now to the weighted average method. Okay, under the weighted average method, nakapartner po ni FIFO kung sakaling pare-pareho lang naman kayo ng products, similar in nature, the cost of each item is determined from the weighted average of the cost of similar items. Remember the word similar items. Ma-average mo lang ang cost kung similar ang items mo. Okay? At the beginning of the period and the cost of similar items purchased or produced during the period. So, i-average daw po natin lahat ng available products at the beginning of the period at lahat ng pinurchase natin during the period. Okay? So, we use the same problem and let's assume that the company only has one kind of product. Ang gagamitin naman po natin is weighted average method. Okay? So, same procedure. Yan po yung gagamitin nating problem. This is your first step. Compute for the cost of goods available for sale kasi dun po manggagaling yung average cost per unit. And how do we compute for the cost of goods available for sale? You get your beginning inventory of 2,000 units at 50. Tapos lahat ng purchases mo. Okay? Purchase mo noong October 3, noong October 13, tsaka noong October 29. 3,000 units, 2,000 units, 1,000 units, then you multiply them to their respective cost for a total purchases of 350,000. Okay? So, your cost of goods available for sale is beginning inventory plus your purchases for 150,000. Ngayon, ilan po lahat ng inventory na meron tayo na available for sale? 2,000 sa beginning, plus 3,000, plus 2,000 at 1,000 na binili, 8,000 units lahat yon. if your total cost of goods available for sale is 450,000 divided by 8,000 units, ang cost per unit mo, 56.25. Ito na yung basis mo ngayon ng lahat ng ibebenta at lahat ng ending inventory. Okay? That will be now your cost multiplier, 56 pesos and 25 centavos. Okay. Now, compute for the total amount of ending inventory. Since the number of units na natira po is 1,400, you simply multiply it dun sa nakuha nating multiplier na 56.25, which is the average cost. Automatically, your ending inventory is just 56.25 times 1,400, 78,750. And then, for cost of goods sold, ganito po. It's either, galing ka sa cost of goods available for sale, less yung na-compute mong ending inventory, yun na yun. Cost of goods sold, 371,250. Or, pwede rin pong, yung 6,600 units, i-multiply mo sa 56.25. Pareho lang po ng lalabas, 371,250. Okay? And then, yung yung gross profit mo ngayon is just the same. Sales ka po minus yung na-compute mo kaninang cost of goods sold, that is your gross profit, 156,750. Okay? Di ba madali lang yung steps? Very procedural lang siya, pero pag nakabisado at naintindihan yung mabuti kung paano yung computation, hindi kayo malilito na dyan. And let's move on to moving average method. Okay, so according naman po sa paragraph 27, under the weighted average cost formula, the cost of each item is determined from the weighted average of the cost of similar items at the beginning of a period and the cost of similar items purchased or produced during the period. Yan po yung ginawa natin kanina, na nakabase po yung cost ng items sa average cost. Pero may sinabi po kasi sa paragraph 27 na napakahalagang sentence na may nabuo po tayong bagong method dahil dyan. Okay? The average may be calculated on a periodic basis. Yan po yung sa periodic na weighted average na ginawa natin kanina. Or, eto ngayon yung bago. As each additional shipment is received depending on the circumstances of the entity. Ang sabi, pwede rin daw po tayong mag-compute ng bagong average cost kapag ka may bagong shipment, kapag ka may bagong pinurchase si company. Okay. So usually, if the company prefers na mag-periodic system lang, then pwede nilang gamitin is the weighted average. But if you think it's more applicable na mag-compute ng average cost kada bagong purchase, then you use the perpetual method of moving average. Okay? Let's use the same problem for problem number 4. Ang papakita naman po natin is moving average method. Okay. So, your first step is gagawa ko rin po uli ng stock card. Kasi po, perpetual yan. Okay? Same concept, receipt, pumasok sa warehouse, issuance, lumabas sa warehouse, balance, yung balance after all transactions. You start with your beginning inventory of 2,000 times 50. Okay? Then, yung pinurchase nating 3,000 times 55. Paano ngayon ang computation mo ng balance? Yung units mo nung beginning, 2,000, plus 3,000, all available, 5,000. Pag-add mo rin yung total cost, 100,000 plus 165,000, 265. Ang sabi natin sa moving average method, kada bagong purchase, may bago kang average cost. So, 265,000 divided by 5,000, lalabas si 53. Yan na yung bago mong cost per unit, 53 na. Kaya, nung nagbenta ka ng 1,500 units noong October 9, 1,500, gagamitin mo si 53. Paano ngayon yung balanse? 5,000 minus 1,535. Still at 53. Okay? 185,500. O, may bago ka na naman purchase pagdating ng October 13. 2,000 units at 60. So, 3,500 plus 2,000, 5,500. 185,500 plus 120,000, 305,500. Same drill. Dahil meron kang bagong purchase, magko-compute ka uli ng bagong average cost. 305,500 divided by 5,500, 55.55. Kaya nagkaroon ka na naman ng selling or sales transaction na 3,600 units, 55.55 na yung gagamitin mo. Okay? And then, same procedure for October 29 transaction. 19 plus 1,000, 29. Add this, 170,549 divided by 2,900, 58.81. Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng bagong average cost kasi nag-purchase na naman tayo. Kaya ng October 30, yun din po yung magiging basis ng sales nating 1,500 units, which will give you an ending balance of 1,400 units at 58.81. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, kaya siya tinawag na moving average, kada may nangyayaring purchase, nagbabago or nagmo-move yung average cost. Okay. This issuance column is also your cost of goods sold. You just get the total of them, 367,695. And this is your ending inventory, 82,334. Now, to compute for your for your gross profit, your sales of 528,000, you deduct it to the cost of goods sold of 367,695. Your gross profit is 160,305. Okay, yan po yung ating inventory costing procedures. Now, to check, ganon din pong sistema, you compute for the cost of goods available for sale, and then ipag-a-add po din natin yung computation natin per table ng cost of goods sold and ending inventory. Magkakaroon ka lang po ng discrepancy, huwag kang mag-alala, it's perfectly fine kasi nagko-compute po tayo ng average cost, and syempre yung average cost, nagkakaroon po tayo ng rounding off dun sa decimal. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry, magiging CPA ka pa din dyan. Okay. So, pag kinompare po natin sila, syempre yung sales pare-pareho lang kasi lahat po yan ay 6,600 units times 80. Diba? And then, pag tinignan nyo yung cost of goods sold, gross profit, tsaka ending inventory, hindi po sila ganong nagkakalayo. So, for academic purposes, kung yung teacher nyo po is pinag-solve po kayo ng isang problem, pero iba-ibang method, malalaman nyo na parang tama naman yung sagot ko dahil hindi sila nagkakalayo-layo lahat. Okay? So, dapat hindi sila ganong malalayo sa isa't isa. Although, these methods have their own advantages and disadvantages depending when the prices in the market are rising or falling. Okay? So, thank you for listening, and our next lesson is the measurement of inventories at LC and RV, the lower of cost and net realizable value. Thank you for listening to Sir Chua, and again, pa-subscribe naman sa Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH, like the video kung natuto kayo, and share it to your friends. Hit the notification bell button to alert you of my new uploads of video lessons. Comment kayo pag may tanong, comment or suggestion, and message me at kevintroy.chua1994@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. This has been Sir Chua's Accounting Lessons PH. To God be all the glory, honor, and praise. Thank you and have a great day. Sarangeo.